That is so fucking great.
I keep thinking about Family Guy, where it's like
That is
all
so
this stuff right
great.
here costs
Thank
more
you,
than half the
Dean.
movie.
Yeah. All right, people, we're here. What's the day? Hold on. Tuesday, the 26th of January, 2021. And as always, I'll give you the Bitcoin price today. It's $32,355. We're over at Post Effects Digital Studio with Dean. He made that wonderful intro.
Hey, Dean.
And
Thank you,
then, so me and Arlene are co-hosting together. And then we have Daniel Undheimer. And we have
He likes that.
John Aquino.
Aloha.
And these guys, oddly enough, are not in show business, but maybe they are the driving force of show business, right?
They make
They're
me,
the after party.
Yeah, they are the after party.
These guys make these products in front of us. Can we go to a wide shot just so people have an idea? So we have Wodka vodka, and then we have a Bloody Mary mix called Natural Blonde. So obviously Dan with his Wodka vodka shirt on makes the vodka, and John does the Natural Blonde. So how the hell did you guys wind up like? Listen, I don't drink anymore, but I did. But I never thought to myself, like, hey, man, I'll make this a business.
Right.
Like, how does one make the leap into? Actually, I'm more interested in distillery because this I could do in my home, right? This I understand.
Yeah, good luck.
I know.
Please.
But you know what I mean?
You want to jump in?
No.
Yeah,
But you know what I mean?
tap him in.
Man.
But you know what I mean. But distilling vodka, that's a whole different world. That's not even. How does this work, dude? Like, how did you come about doing this?
Well, many years in the business and fortunate, a long learning curve. Grew up bartending, running bars, restaurants, kitchens, and studying at the same time, working on the weekends when most buddies would be sleeping, chilling out in their teens. I'd be working. Family had businesses, and we were taught how to work and learn, and our appreciation. Came our I should say our price was we got to travel and explore the world with our parents, which was great. So you just kept working and one thing led to another from studies, social science and economy and the business sense. Started growing more and more. Moved to London, started bartending in London after bartending across Europe. London was kind of what the New York was, but the old world, a lot of the cocktail culture that kind of had a rebirth in the 90s was in London. Craft cocktail. I don't like to use the word craft, but anyhow, just good bartending and entertaining, hospitality. And then from there, started working with brand companies would come in and start asking, hey, Dan, can you mix up a cocktail for me? Could you help us? We're trying a new campaign in certain parts of the world. And then I said, why don't you give me a retainer and I'll start helping you. And I got to travel the world and got to help brand develop some of their trade platforms and ideas to sell it, how to communicate with bartenders, buyers, because a lot of times the big corporations would come in and not really understand the language, what the buyer, the bar owner, or the buyer of the hotel would need or their business. So one thing led to a few, we created a few brands at a distillery. That's a consulting project. I was in New York for many years and then moved down to Florida. And then a few of us, we set up a spirit company and we own Wodka and we have a scotch as well. So it's,
And where is it distilled?
Wodka is distilled in Poland. So it's one of the last estate-grown Polish vodkas. Western Poland, close to the German borders, an old town called Kalisz. It's the oldest town in Poland, which quite frankly makes it one of the oldest places on earth. Poland's a very old country, very proud, traditional. It's got a beautiful Baltic coast in the north. I sound like a travel agent. It's got the Tatra Mountains in the south, and close to or towards the German border is Kalisz. Kalisz was actually known in Roman times, so a few years ago.
Yeah.
It was one of their many trade posts. So people would come throughout the Roman Empire, which at the time was the center of the universe.
Yeah.
And of course, Rome being the capital. And Kalisz was a Roman and also a Jewish trade post. And they would come and trade, tools, weapons, minerals, spices to get one thing, the Polish rye, the coveted Dankowski rye. It's the same rye we use today. So it's distilled there. The rye comes in from the fields. I know it sounds very simple, but it is. We crush it or mill it. We add the water. We are fortunate to have natural water. So we start cooking it and then we ferment it. and then we distill it, and then we let it sit and rest, and that's what you have in the bottle. So
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many times does it get filtered?
we only filter it twice.
Wow.
And there's no a lot of brands today will, it was distilled on a half-naked virgin on a diamond paved road and through pearls. And I'm not in the jewelry business. It's spirits, and the bottle is more fancier than you could imagine. It's a lot of times proof's in the pudding, what's inside, and really good quality spirit, affordable. And so we distill it 5 times, and we mellow it or filter it twice.
Wow.
That's it.
And now all the rye is right there in the local fields around the town.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Hence
incredible.
estate grown. I know it sounds very posh, but it'd be difficult to say on a bottle the rye is grown around the place where
you
it's
just say
distilled.
estate
It means that it grows.
So it's supporting an entire community.
It is, yeah. So for generations where you have, the family that owns the distillery and then neighboring farms or farmers that have been living there for generations too, they obviously are side by side, the same climate or microclimate, so they grow the same rye that's been growing there for centuries. So they, of course, get top dollar for their rye, so they just get it picked up.
And then, and it's not like from Monsanto.
No.
No GMO there.
Monsanto ski.
Yeah, it's non-GMO.
Monsanto ski.
Monsanto ski.
Yeah.
Monsanto ski.
Yeah.
That's so you love it, dude. You just gave boom.
Yeah.
I barely opened the door and this guy was like, ooh.
He's like, I've been doing this for a very long
It's
time.
always on.
From the
Always
old
on.
from the old
I
years
love
of bartending and communicating, and we were saying in the beginning, entertainment, social lubrication, right? And also just good quality and again affordable. And being Polish, I mean, my roots are Polish. I guess I'm proud of that too. And Wodka, which literally is the original spelling, and it literally means little water because voda means water. So
Wow, it means little water. Vodka means little water.
Yep.
So why is it that some of us use the V and some of us use the W though? Because like Indian people will do the same thing. They'll replace the V in a word with the W. What
the original
you never know what to do.
The original spelling is Slavic, so in Russian too will be Wodka with a W.
Gotcha.
And then I guess most of the Western world it's with a V. It's like sometimes my V's are wrong from my Swedish side when I say Darth Vader. Sometimes I'll do a Vader. I can't do the waiter. But,
Yeah. What a trip, dude. That was something, huh?
That was something.
That's something.
Well, the thing is, when I first met him, it was, I think it was at Tales of the Cocktail a long time ago. And we were at a show. It was the restaurant bar show in Chicago, whatever that was called. And they just opened up. It was the first year they opened up a whole big new wing just for spirits. And that's when you were working for, what was it, Zubrovka?
Yeah.
Zubrovka. And so he helped build that brand. And I met him before, and he was a lot of fun. We had a good time. And then when I saw him do his thing at the Chicago show, it was crazy. He really knew his stuff. And it's like, this is the guy I want to hang out with because, there's a couple of people that I love because I learn from them every day. Every time I, hang out with them, I learn something new. And that's just the science side of me. That I like learning new stuff every day, especially when it comes to our field and our craft.
Yeah.
You've got to know stuff. And it's not only is it a talking point, and it's an icebreaker, you actually can educate the consumer to why your product is better or why it makes sense to get yours over some other,
different
corporate brand that's just doing whatever to get by because they're resting on their laurels.
Well, it's funny because now you have these celebrities and whatnot that buy into these companies and then sell them for $1 billion. And you're like, what? I think George Clooney just did it. The other guy did it. What's that guy?
Gin.
But what they do forget though, sorry. And thank you, brother. And we become family, of course. And our two great brands work so well together in many places, which I'm sure we'll come to later.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
But with the celebrities, what I think is an interesting thing with you look at media too, it's like what they want to show and, they're all propped up. But then you have guys behind the scenes, which we are a lot of times. Like a lot of our work, right, is stuff you don't see on a social media channel or any, out there working. Like a lot of these celebrities teamed up with really good guys that worked for many, many years, right? And had many relationships with growers, distillers, spirits, or the hospitality industry.
and smartly so. They lend a hand, and I think just recently, I just on that tangent, each to their own, as they say, and when we're subjective to, I just tried a wine with my wife, and she really liked it. I liked it, and it was Zach Brown.
Oh wow!
And actually, even the guy in the store said this is actually a really good wine. So I kind of stood and waited, and he was also a guy that very in detail. And he said, Daniel, we got to talking, and I gave him my card. I wasn't trying to sell my spirits; they weren't in the store yet. So I said, hey, I'll try. And he said he's actually really cares about wines, and apparently for many years, while he's not on tour or creating new music, he frequents Napa and started talking to some growers. And he's not like, I'm no expert at all, but I have a passion for wine, and I guess he just listened and started working with some people that knew more about wine than him.
That's like Maynard from Tool. Like he has a wine. He owns his own winery up in
Dave Matthews.
Jerome. Jerome up by Flagstaff in Arizona. And he's a fucking tool. That guy's a tool.
But the thing is,
but he makes this wine, and he's like wildly knowledgeable about wine. And it's this strange little section of the world that grows like more like of a dessert wine variety of grape. Because it's like in this high latitude in Arizona.
It's a late harvest.
And it's like this weird thing. And then he has this little bistro kind of thing in the town, and people go there and see Maynard from Tool serving people little glasses of wine.
Well, look at Metallica's got their own bourbon.
Yeah.
Oh, do they? I didn't know that. Really?
So I mean,
Metallica puts a label on anything, like your socks, and like Metallica's like.
Why not? You get socks and you get a bourbon.
I mean,
the whole could be worse.
Could be warm,
Where I draw the line is when Kiss. If Kiss starts making some stuff like that, I'm done. Like because they've got everything. Toilet paper, everything from toilet paper to coffee to whatever.
You can get a Kiss
restaurant,
coffin.
bar,
they start making. I'm done. Gene, you jumped the shark.
Yeah, all right.
Good for you for making all this money because you got screwed when you were younger. But man, come on.
Yeah. But I mean, like, who wouldn't? I mean, I guess I would too, maybe.
A good friend of mine just told me Gene Simmons is into crypto, so I was like,
he's all about crypto, right?
He's all about everything.
So one of the things I wanted to bring up is, when people say like, oh, is that person a bartender? I'm like, listen, there is a huge difference between bartenders and mixologists. And a lot of it has to do with the understanding of knowing just how, well, John, you tell us a little bit more about, because your experience is unparalleled.
Well,
I mean, you just.
The way I personally feel about it is that I'm a bartender. Because that's what I do. I tend to bar. That's how I make my money. Anybody can I can teach a monkey how to make a gin and tonic, but I can't teach a monkey how to tend a bar. And that's the way I feel about it. There's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of people that have great chops. They make awesome cocktails, really clever, cool things and stuff. But if that's all they're doing, that's great. If it pays the bills and they can get signed on as a brand ambassador or whatever, fine. That's great. I like interacting with people. So whether or not I make a great drink, I'm a bartender first, and then a mixologist second, because I don't like the labels.
Right.
But in fact, my job is to tend the bar, and I love that part of my job. That's what I dig. It's like getting in, because it's interacting with people, and you learn. Like I love interacting with people. You learn where you're from, what are you doing, and all this stuff, and then you can kind of relate to them. Whereas if you're just making a drink, you're just making a drink. And here's the pretty picture, buy my stuff. And it's like, vote for me based on a picture.
And 20 minutes later, you're like, oh, sorry.
All right, come on, guys. Really? Come on. You guys are in the alcohol business, right? So what's a good customer and what's a bad customer when you're attending bar?
I'll let you take that
Go
one.
on. Let's do it.
I mean, you know what? They're all good.
What's the one that you know right away?
The ones that hit people are not good.
Yeah, the ones that,
We're just
the ones that can't hold their liquor aren't good.
No, it's like, but that's your job, is to make sure that they, don't cross that line. If you
so what's a good tender and who's not a good tender? Let's flip it around.
I mean, you got to be aware of everything that's going on in your wherever you're at. You need to know what's going on. You need to have peripheral vision. You need to know what people are doing. If people are lacking, you need to think 2 steps ahead. If you're right on top of them, you're still behind. So you need to be thinking 2-3 steps ahead. Like this person's almost done with this. This person, I know that they're going to not want another glass. And then you've got the service bar, you've got servers, you've got all these people coming in, going out, paying your tabs and blah, blah, blah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But it's fun because if you're organized and you get it, you have more fun because in my case, when I was working at one place, it was crazy busy. And I loved it because I'm moving and I'm having fun and it makes you think. That's what keeps you young is you got to keep your brain moving, and you're thinking ahead and you're thinking about stuff. And when people see you busting your butt and doing things and, you're on top of stuff and you're always thinking ahead and they're not lacking for anything. And, maybe once or twice you'll get something where you're a little behind. But if they see you moving and they see you doing a job, they dig that. They love the everything that's going on.
Yeah.
It's a stage. They love it. I do this thing at my bar where, I used to do this thing. I'd work on myself on Mondays and Tuesdays. We get slammed. And it was, we have all the hotels around us and we would do, as a bunch of, business people that would come in. They were a little older. So I had my playlist on my phone going and it's a bunch of obscure 60s, 70s and 80s stuff. And a lot of people come in for the playlist. So I would do this thing when I'm about to get slammed and busy and I know I'm not going to be able to take care of these people. I would say, okay, dollars up, phones down. And I would say, all right, the next song that comes up, I'd have somebody sitting there timing. And it's like, you got 30 seconds to name the artist of the next song, not the song, but the artist of the next song. First person to get it in 30 seconds wins all the money on the bar. If you don't get it, I get all the money.
Nice.
Wow.
So people would come in and play that because it's like, you have stuff like Skritty Politti and Todd Rundgren and
Wow.
I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah.
Sputnik and I have all this obscure one-hit wonder stuff, the Vapors, and everybody knows I'm turning Japanese. Who knows it's the Vapors?
Right.
So
I know
stuff like
that,
that. So people would sit there and go, and then that would force them to talk to each other, and then they're talking and they're laughing and they're like, damn it, I know that song, but I can't remember, this is bullshit, blah, 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 but they're having fun.
Yeah.
And they're not even realizing that I'm in the weeds over here, man. So
Yeah,
I can't get
yeah.
to them anyways.
Yeah.
So it gets them talking to themselves. They get to meet, and they're meeting new people while I'm working, and it's fun. Like I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I miss it because I'm, so busy with this right now.
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite ways of when I did drink was German beer gardens because of the long tables. Like
yeah.
you're forced
Communal,
to
sitting
be
together.
communal, like long benches and
Yeah.
long tables, and you just got to sit next to someone. Like you can't claim that corner,
Yeah.
There's a great one in
Um,
Astoria when I lived in Queens that we used to go to, and
yeah, that one's pretty big.
yeah, I love that
one's
one.
cool,
Yeah.
So how about you then? What makes a good tender?
Very much what John was saying. I do miss those years, quite a few years of tending bar and learning at the same time. What John was saying. It kind of in a way is, you're on stage.
Yeah.
And getting, as John was saying, into systems. I remember having nights where we're 3 deep, meaning 3 layers of
Mhm.
people wanting to get served
Yeah.
and drinks, and it's all about a dance. Symbiosis, right? Synergy, a
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the pleasure was being able to build great teams because it's all about people. And similar to what John was saying, I would have similar experiences when eventually I would take the rudder at a ship, take over at a bar, work my way up, and hey, Dan, you want to, it's your turn. And
Yeah.
sometimes, many times, I said, sure, I'll give it a go for sure. When we would hire new bartenders, it would always, at times, it would almost be like a casting, and it would be, you'd have the guys and girls coming in with their CVs and like, so I won this, I was in this competition, I was this, I was that. Come on, Dan, because a lot of them I would know because, over the years, and this is way back in London, and hire me. And it's like, the more you heard the word me, it was like,
not a team
it's all
player.
about a team,
Yeah.
Even as running the bar, I was an operational manager that would jump behind the bar, bartend, and you kind of show the way or try to lead the way, and you learn too from your team. And then you get people that would just come in and not know you from Adam, and shake your hand, good firm handshake, stuff you learned from growing up. Look in your eye, not at their
Respect.
shoes or on their phone, or I'm like, listen, I don't know that much, but I want to learn, and I heard a lot about your bar and your team and your methods. I'd love to get a shot. I'll come and work for free. And, it's stuff which I did when I first kind of started. I'd do a few shifts just to show them.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, well,
Yeah.
can you start now? Can you start helping out? And what we would do is, can you start bar backing?
Yeah.
And there is where I would also see a bartender go if they were really willing, meaning because the bar back is the backbone of the bar industry or the bar business.
All right.
They are helping you filling ice, glassware. You need new spirits,
Yeah.
replenish your wells, your back bar, tidying, cleaning. Without them in a busy bar, and you did it yourself. I did it myself for a good few weeks, if not a few months. And then I stepped in, and I'd still bartender for many years, but I was willing to do it. And when you saw the same, you kind of, and that kind of character building, and the whole thing about being on stage, and hospitality. It's not rocket science, right? And it's all about that getting to know, and music, atmosphere, the lighting, the toilets are clean every 50 minutes. And way back then you could smoke in bars. So, I'd say, go on a break, Tony, I got you. Said, but when you go on a break, would you mind, swinging by the loos, the toilets, the gents, check them out, toilet clean, flush, and then one of the girls, do you mind, Sarah, can you just swing by the ladies, make it nice and fresh. And then around the corner from Harrods, we would also have these little, I'd get the girls that would come in and that worked, and guys too at Harrods come in, discount, local business. Our bar, that bar was in Knightsbridge, and can you bring a little samples of perfume and whatnot, and you put those in the ladies' room, and
sure,
guys liked it too. Don't get me wrong, if it was there, but I mean they were gone, but they were free, and then again that whole kind of interacting, and sometimes when do you cut someone off, right? When do you? We'd have great music, lighting. We'd have some people come in that had a few too many, and my favorite was the one who, had to boast themselves. And do you know who I am? The name dropping is a favorite of mine, but do you know who I am?
I'm sorry about that.
No. And what we would do, I remember, and they'd be like, "Oh, here goes Dan," So someone obviously being a nuisance, and the bar's packed, everyone's happy. Some guy that gets angry or almost violent, bad energy, low vibration, straight away would have good lighting, get a light on him and touch me. Hey, excuse me, and get the shaker and the tin. And the boss man would go, "Hey, could somebody help this guy? He keeps saying, 'Do you know who I am?' He doesn't seem to know who he is." Anyone? And the whole bar, you just erupt laughing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then you just walk up to him and go, "Pardon my French. You know what, buddy? No one gives a shit who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Behave, be nice, or leave."
Yeah.
Because and it's again about that service, and everyone's having a good time. And it's, if you have what do you do when you have a bad apple? I mean, it's
throw it out.
But
I mean, I've certainly been in enough bars, but that would have been great. I would have loved to have seen that. I have never in my life seen a bartender do that to it.
You just turn on his head,
That is
as opposed to doing
great.
anything more. 9 out of 10. Ooh,
I think having bartended as well, I just knowing how your, I'd say, audience in a way is acting, and the energy of the room. And one of my favorite times bartending was actually when I worked with John and we opened Wild Olive. And what I learned from you was the things that you guys are talking about is the extra that you bring. You don't go in there and it's not just like, okay, well, I clock in, I do my job, and I leave.
Right.
You do so much more. I mean, John would bring in homemade limoncello that he made from out of his home and bring it in and let people try it. And
I've been to bars where
I mean, that was somebody else.
That was 86 on that.
But I mean, you just think he would bring more to the table, more to the bar than just what he had to do for his job, and people, knew him. And for me, it was always hard to know people's names right away. So I always knew people by what they drank. I'd be like, "Oh, Chardonnay's here," Jack and Coke's, he's here on up on 3:00, But just having that attention to detail is what brings them back, and having that, that's sort of that hospitality about you, and that welcoming nature is what keeps them coming. It's the hardest thing for me was really just when the guys got off the golf course and they'd be like, "Oh, we want you to do shots with us," and I'd be like, "Okay, I want to, but I'm already 4 deep myself, from the last group of guys that came here before you, I can't do anymore."
Actually, what time is it? Is it time yet? Are you gonna serve it? Let's talk about yours so you can serve it.
Okay.
Right?
You just want to get me drunk.
I'm thinking we're losing time on that.
Oh,
I'm thinking Arlene's not 4 deep yet.
We don't know that. She's got a teenage daughter. She's probably at least 2 or 3.
Oh yeah.
So
what do you
I don't
guys
remember
think
that
of?
much.
What do you guys think of bad bartenders? Like I've been in places where the bartender was a creepy bastard, or
Ooh,
just
yeah.
a snob, or like a jerk, like you weren't wearing the right shirt or whatever. How quick do you guys spot a bad
The
bartender?
thing is, to me, it's like it's paying attention to what's going on. And if you're focused on some hot chick at the bar, and that's all your focus is, and everybody else is suffering, and you don't care, it's like, it's one thing if you don't realize it. It's another thing if you don't care.
Yeah.
And a lot of these, there's some that are, they're prima donnas out there, and they're focused on look at my drink and look at me this and and good for them.
But they're at local dive bars. They're not at a place that's
there's ones
not
at bigger
at 3
bars.
deep,
And that's fine. You know what? If that's your bag, that's fine.
Yeah.
To me, it's like smiles bring an extra $5.
Yeah,
That's the first thing. Second thing is everybody's the same.
Yeah.
You treat everybody the same. You don't know if some guy's coming in here and jeans and in Charleston where where I live, it's flip flops and t-shirt and nobody. I mean, I see $1 million deals written on cocktail napkins.
Yeah.
So it's like you never know. So you just take care of everybody, and then everybody's the same.
Yeah.
If you have somebody that comes in that's been a pain in the butt before, I tell them, here's the deal. We're letting you sit here. Just don't act up. The second you act up, you're out and you're done. You're never coming back. I want you here at my bar. I want you to have fun, but I don't want you acting up. I'm giving you another shot, or I'm giving you, just be cool, and I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And you just have to be honest with them. You have to let people know what's going on. If you're buried and you can't get to them for a couple minutes, I'll be right there. This is what's going on. I got this, and this, and this, and this before you.
Yeah.
You're next. Let them know so that they know, at least that they're there. So.
Yeah, I as a New Yorker, it's tough to be at a bar 3 deep. You have to be wildly aggressive to get up to that bartender and get a drink, man. But
I stand like this with a $20 bill, and they always find me. They see me waving money, and they'll cut through.
Pisses me off.
Yeah.
all right, so what about when
You do that? Oh, I used to tell my team back when people were waving like that in their face. I said, grab it, walk by the bar, and just grab them. And then serve your next customers. And then guess what? They'd stop waving.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't wave it in their face, but there would be so many people. And this usually was only when there was like somebody focusing on like some hot blonde. And I was like, hello, there's other people here, I'm over here. I've been here for like an hour.
And I would, in New York, I knew a lot of Italians, and we would walk into a bar with a couple of Italian guys, and they just go right to the bartender. They give the guy $20 or $50. They go, here, hold on to that. Like, this is what I drink.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
Keep just, do your
There's
job.
nothing wrong with that.
Old school.
That's what I mean. There's nothing wrong with that, man. It's called greasing the
just
palm.
come in.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And then when they leave, thank you.
You just go in. You say, yo, buddy, here you go.
Yeah, I leave the 20. I'm not like looking for change. Like that's my way of saying you
because you don't want to have to be aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you don't want to be aggressive, so you're just like, yo, listen, dude, here you go. This is what I drink. Just take care of it when you get, just do it on your own. And I don't want to be doing this all night. If I'm trying to have a conversation, I want to be like, hold on, hello, so it's easier to just pay the guy up front and be like, dude, just do your job.
I know you're busy, dude.
This is what we like. Put something aside.
Just do it.
I remember sometimes you'd have, really behavior where they would go like that. So again, it's about acting and back. So tell the team, you have somebody doing like that, just walk up and just and get the rest of the team in front of the customer and just sorry, not a music session, it's a bar, but we'll get to you later, and then you serve the rest. Or if somebody whistled, you walk up and you'd be like, excuse me, have you lost your dog? Sorry, there's no dog there. And then the rest of the customers be like, dude, what are you doing? You're in a bar. They're serving you, but they're not your servants. And I think that's a little, it's hospitality, right? It's service, but a little decorum too, it's like, sure, the customer's always right, but there's a way of doing things too.
Well, right? It's like, am I wearing a headdress? Because my name ain't Chief.
Really?
Hey, Chief.
Hey,
pal. Ooh, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Really?
Oh.
Really? Yeah, that's my dog's name, not mine. It's like,
you can say sir or ma'am.
It's not Mr. That's my dad. My name's John. And if you're calling me Chief, you're done. Like, first in, last out. You're back of the line.
Wow.
It's just rude. It's just
wow.
rude.
Or just rushing up and go, gin tonic. So, sorry, my name is Daniel. Awesome.
Wow.
Gin and tonic's your name? What? Because no, gin and tonic. I said, I heard it the first time. I'm Daniel. What a great name you have. Oh, you would like a gin and tonic. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I said, no problem.
And what do you
just
say?
you
What
know,
do
I-
you say?
Yeah.
Please
but
and
it's-
thank you.
And then the
That
way
go
it's
very
so
far.
violent, you're like, oh God, have cornflake for breakfast. Thank you. Whoa. That's a bit fun.
So it seems like Daniel has the personality where he can tell you to go fuck off and you still like him.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, if
It
you got, a
seems
British,
like-
if you got a British accent, you can say, oh,
you can say,
hello,
yeah,
fuck off.
yeah.
No.
It
It
sounds so
it
nice.
like, oh, well, thank you. Like,
All right, we can't go to
I will,
Bridgerton because
thank
I
you.
just
No.
finished the Bridgerton
Oh
series.
God,
Yeah.
And
Bridgerton,
we
yeah.
can't go there.
No, many moons ago. But just where, especially when you look back and you look at your team too, and you it's all about the kind of the business side of it, entertaining, but also everyone's having a good time, and what John was saying, what you were saying, but also maintaining that. And sometimes where you do have people that get out of line, we are serving alcohol here, it's not like it's soda pops and soft drinks, and certain people, again, you're dealing with people and you want to try and have an equilibrium in the bar. Everyone's having a good time. And that's why you have, good bars too, where you can. And before you have security too, because you sit on a license, and you want people to have a good time. And if something happens where with the years, when you agree, you catch it quickly. If something, you become a pretty good people person too, where
Yeah.
something's kind of off here. Hey, let's, hey, is everything okay, sir? I
Yeah.
think, and then most times it ends kind of there and it's okay. But sometimes people come in and they slip through the crack, kind of, maybe they were too. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
how did this guy get in? And
Wow.
then,
Yeah.
so
Well,
long
that's
time
like-
ago. though,
I
but-
think
Yeah.
the biggest, the best compliment that I've ever had was from business ladies that are, single business women that come in. They're on a business trip because we had the hotels next door. They come in here because our hotels would direct them to our restaurants. And they come in and they would say, we come back here. Like one lady goes, she goes, I love coming back here because I feel safe at this bar. That to me says it all.
Super important.
Because
Yeah.
that's what I don't want you to feel like there's no creepers at my bar. If there are, they're out, because I've got some, managers that will take care of that.
Wow.
I don't like tossing anybody out by any means. I hate it. But if you're going to be like that, you're gone.
All right, so who's been tossed out of a bar?
I've been tossed out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah? So throw your hand up,
It wasn't
bro.
my fault.
All right, he wins.
Yeah, I might
It wasn't
win.
my fault.
I want to hear it.
I've been
I
banned.
totally want to hear that.
No,
You've been
no.
banned forever? Hold on, banned forever or just asked to leave?
No, I was banned forever.
Forever.
It was
Oh.
it was a whole other story. It was dark days for me.
Well, I want, all right, we got to hear the
You got tossed out of the Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
Yeah,
He wins this one.
I got even
Right as he
Just
said
say-
it, he was
let's
like, I don't
just
want to say it.
I mean, people are destroying each other on, for
It involved a
spectacle.
bottle of Goldschlager that was about 3 or 4 liters,
Oh,
and there was nothing else to drink. So,
oh my God.
46 ounce some cup.
Oh, dude. Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah.
I remember Goldschlager when I was
I
younger.
fell down the stairs in Atlanta.
Oh.
Two flights of
But when you
stairs.
did, was gold coming out?
Oh no, listen to this. So I was living in Knoxville at the time, and I had my ex-wife was with me, and we had a great time. And all I know is I was in bad shape, and so fell down 2 flights of stairs at the train station in Atlanta. Walked, popped up, and there's 2 cops there looking at me, and I said, "Miss Smith," and I ran around and spiked a fake football. And they said, "Get him out of here." And I woke up in the front seat of the car, and she was passed out, with a coffee and creamers all over her. And I had a salt shaker and a half-eaten Whopper with cheese stuck in my chest.
Oh my God.
And I was
Oh
like,
my
"Well, where
God.
did I get this?" You had to go inside to get the salt shaker, so I didn't know.
This
And then
happened.
I was like, "Holy
That's a
crap,
movie
we
scene.
got to get out of here." So I put her in the passenger seat, and I drove back to Knoxville, and we're on the highway at 2 a.m. She's like, "I'm gonna be sick," and so she's yakking out the side, and all I saw was the headlights behind us and gold flakes just coming out in the headlights. So sorry to tell that story.
Oh,
Really
That was a great
sorry.
story.
I didn't know we
that
were
was a
going to go
long time
there.
ago, but yeah,
Wow.
it was pretty bad.
You know what I think is funny? He mentioned it earlier, Tales of the Cocktail, and it's basically like it's like an expo, but it's all alcohol. and you just go there and basically drink for a week, like all day,
But it's
all
all
night.
industry people.
It's 25,000
Yeah. Industry professionals,
bartenders, brand ambassadors, most brands. It's classes and tastings and seminars and tastings and
launches,
events and
events.
tastings and tastings.
And this is where, like Vegas
New
or something?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
25,000 bartenders in New Orleans for a week.
And I love like
what
their
could go wrong?
and I love their brochure. Like even if you go when you go on their website and stuff, they'll like literally say, like, don't be. It literally says, "Don't be that guy. Go home, take a nap, come back. Don't be that person in the street that's puking at like 9 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning. Don't be that guy because it goes like then there's like after parties and after parties.
But you pace yourself, drink a lot of water,
Drink a lot of water. Yeah, it's very responsible.
It's in July in New Orleans, so you're already going to be baking.
Oh my god!
You know?
Oh, I was on the
God.
roof in a pool in a float, and they were like shooting like they had little guns. They were shooting booze in my mouth, and then there was like whiskey everywhere, and that was just like that moment, and like.
Party.
Yeah, and then like later I went to the Snoop. You got me. I just saw Snoop Dogg at like a private party with Snoop Dogg, and there was drinks everywhere. I mean, there's just drinks everywhere. You actually at some point you're like, no, man, I'm good. I'm good. Like,
wow.
Yeah, like 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm drinking like God knows what. It's crazy. Like pops.
I've only done that like on St. Patrick's Day parade. You drink a little whiskey first thing in the morning or whatever. But I was no good with grain alcohols. I could drink beer and whatnot, but with grain alcohol, I couldn't mix.
Yeah.
And I if I drank grain alcohol, it was really just gin, and it was only gin, like gin and 7-Up or something with some lime. But I'm mixing all those alcohols. Whoa.
Yeah,
That
I don't
sounds
usually
nasty.
mix, and I'm basically just a wine girl, except when I drink this vodka.
I hit all the champagne ones first. Get all the champagne ones out of the way. Make sure you get like the mom's house.
Actually, champagne is pretty great, though. I have to
that's
say,
what I do.
champagne is
I'm
pretty
gonna start
great.
there and work my way.
Yeah.
Work your way down.
down the gutter.
Yeah.
It's funny what you mentioned with Tales of the Cocktail, and it's many. I should say many experiences of, let's say, the first timers at Tales.
Oh,
Mhm.
They're bartenders, and it's from all over the world, and
Yeah.
maybe their first time, or and they just go for it, and then they realize, oh, New Orleans beat me, like literally beat
God,
me.
yeah.
And then there are, of course, each to every one, where there are events that start from the morning, they go all day, they go all night, but then you sometimes you get into a rhythm. We've hosted a lot of events at Tales, and you have to also be there too, like, because you're the host, and
Oh yeah.
some that get a little bit. You want to try to enjoy responsibly, of course, which you want to try and achieve or do. But a lot of great events, and as John was saying, tastings, launches, seminars, a lot of
Very
brands
professional.
are
I
launched
was
there.
so
It's
impressed.
it's gotten to the point lately where it's more low ABV,
Yeah,
low alcohol
and
spirits
less,
and,
where it's not an event is not drawn out for 5-6
Right.
hours, where you see people
It's
like
very responsible.
passed
It's
out.
great. It's
they're
great.
trying to,
Yeah.
it's impossible. People will always, do
Yeah.
what they do, but it's a great social gathering, or it
amazing.
was. Of course, everything,
COVID,
pre-COVID,
Yeah.
where it was about, how should I put it? For me, it feels, from the professional side too, it's also meeting up with a lot of old bartenders. I used to bartend with 20 years ago, but also are now in brands or have their own bars, or, many from London and all over the place. It's almost like a high school reunion for brand owners, bartenders, and the hospitality
it's a one-stop
industry.
shop for
Wow.
everything.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's incredible.
Instead of going across the country and trying to hit up all these major markets with
It's all
their
in
stuff,
one place.
Everybody
come
just
to
comes
you.
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in New Orleans.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That's
so much fun.
crazy.
I can't wait for it to come back.
It's exactly. It's like, it's known for being a pretty fun city.
Yes.
We did one event one year, and I found out later that we were the first people to close down Bourbon Street in over 100 years. So we managed to rent two of the main blocks by Old Absinthe House, and I think just up to the Sonesta, and I think going down towards the Main Street there. And we recreated an old Polish, what do you call it? Primeval Forests. This is the old brand we're working on, and everyone, and it was, still busy New Orleans with tourists, locals. They had to like walk on the sidewalks, and I'm like, what is that? We had a dressed, those riding cows or bulls dressed as a bison, because the brand was a bison grass brand, and we had little forests, and we had punch bowls, and we had cocktails on each end, and people like, what is
for
that?
2 blocks?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The whole road.
Yeah. And
they're very elaborate.
Hundreds of
Everything's
people
elaborate.
would come, and then even the cops on their horses, we had to get up on the sidewalk, and they had to put their head down because the first story balconies.
Yeah.
They would otherwise hit their heads. But and a lot of the big companies, they put on some amazing, like the museum. They would rent out the War Museum and have different rooms, and it gets more and more elaborate every year and creative. Yeah, God forbid, it's a bit of fun too. You get used to it, but it's each to their own what they do during the day. A lot of people have meetings, right? People do little house parties where they do a pop-up breakfast or lunch where do Bloody Marys and have meetings. This is also a great moment when you're in the industry for us to meet our distributors, our heroes. America, the great thing is a lot of it is logistics too and distribution.
Yes.
You can have the greatest thing in the world, John would tell you, but you start building good distribution, right? That is key. So your heroes, a lot of your distributors, the suppliers, meet up and say, hey, thank you for this year, or come on over to our house. I got you. We got some breakfast. We got some Bloody Marys. Let's talk a bit of shop, have a bit of fun. Cheers for the year.
First time you go there, the first couple of years, it's all about the party. And then you get to the point where it's all about networking. And that's what I like about it, is that it's a one-stop shop. You can see everybody you need to see, say hello to old friends, how you doing, catch up,
make new ones,
and figure out, all right, I want to be in your market. What are the places I need to be? Who do you recommend for distribution? Who do you recommend for this, that? And it's it's all about networking and business. Sure. There's people that still go there every year just to party, and that's, God bless them. But for me, it's all about the networking and the business side. Yeah. And it's
now,
great.
It's like the NatP for the alcohol. It's amazing. Like when he was talking about the sets, like they bring in like, there's like, just like they had like a wall, and then people dressed as like jesters and stuff behind the wall. And you would like knock on the wall, and like somewhere they'd pop out with a drink out of the hole, and that was your drink. Like it was just super cool stuff. It's like amazing.
And what's it called?
Tales of the Cocktail.
Tales of the Cocktail.
And anybody can go to it?
Yeah.
Just a general public.
It's the third week of July every year. Well,
we don't know what's going to happen.
It's all for the Museum of the American Cocktail. There's a lot of good charity. It's a really good charity thing too. The charity components are great, and it's you get the who's who of our industry there, and the classes alone are well worth it. You can
seminars.
There's so many cool classes and seminars. You get to taste stuff that you've always wanted to taste, and you never know. And then you do comparative tastings. I mean, one class I did was all ancient rums from like the 20s and 30s, and how much they've changed now.
Wow.
There's another class that I went to that was vintage champagnes, and what vintage champagnes taste like, and how they make them, and why they make these are the better brands, and blah blah blah. And it's just, you get to learn about things that I've always wanted to try that, but I'm not going to buy a whole bottle for $200 to try it, but you can try it. It's just stuff like that. And then there's all these other things that you might have never known about that are like Wodka. It was a small brand and all that stuff, and then you do comparative tastings against some of the other major brands, and it blows them away. And it's holy crap. That's what it's all about. It gives us small people a chance to get in and compete, without having to go across country and spend all the money that we don't have, when we can do it right there as a one-stop shop.
It's a great platform. That's for sure.
So we have to get to this this Natural Blonde product. So are you going to serve these drinks and then we'll talk about it?
Yeah, go ahead. You guys keep talking. I'll go.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, because I just want to ask him one question while you're doing that. So go ahead, and get that.
Sure.
So let me ask you something, like, because he brought up like old whiskeys and different things. Like, what? So are these, when you distill this? Is it in glass? Is it in oak barrels? Like, how does this storage process, like? Because you're not trying to add flavors.
No. So when
doesn't need to.
Yeah, when you make a thank you. When you make clear spirits, traditionally they have no interaction with wood or let's call it traditional aging
Yeah.
or maturing. Mostly barrels, wood, predominantly oak.
Yeah.
Oak is like humans; it's permeable, it breathes.
Yeah.
So of course, when we put something into a barrel, it's eventually you're going to get what they call the angel share. And after about 12 years, a regular barrel, about 190 liters, will lose about a quarter. And that goes to the angel. So a lot of people say, when I die, man, I want to go in Scotland. I'll be a happy angel just flying around getting pissed every day, hammered every day, or in Cognac in France. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
I get my share. But, and there's no two ways about it. It's always kind of been like that. And with Wodka, we don't have that, I should say, fortune in a way, as some great aged spirits, rums, whiskeys, cognacs, brandies, etc. We kind of just really need to nail it down on get-go, So we're very fortunate that we do have, incredible rye that's been known since the Roman times.
Yeah.
And a natural water source. Many distilleries will buy recycled water, and I'm not going to go into detail where it comes from. I could, but you probably get the drift.
I don't know if anyone,
And a lot of them will use treated water too. Nothing bad. But It's just a lot of expenses to treat water. It's very, very expensive. We're just very fortunate. We have a natural water source on the distillery grounds that we use. We don't have to treat the water. So, you have the steps. You bring in the rye. So you start with your crushing or milling. That's where you crush the corn. You get the flour inside. You add the water. You start creating a nice mixture, sugary mixture. And then you add yeast, similar to brewer's yeast. It's very similar to making beer. So you start your fermentation. You're turning your sugars into alcohol. And you get what's known as a wash, very similar to a beer. Quite tasty, actually. And then, but we're not in the beer industry. We make liquor, we make spirits, we make good Polish vodka. So we have to distill it. And it goes into column stills, which aren't, in metal. And, we distill
stainless,
them.
copper, like what do you put in?
It can be both.
Okay.
A lot of what you would call pot stills or alembic stills, where they're distilled more in a step-by-step, like a lot of whiskeys will use those in Scotland and America and elsewhere. Many of them will use pot still distillation to do it step-by-step.
I see lembic on beers too, though. They do
yeah.
lembic on beer.
Well, yeah, for the brewing at times too, but your alembic stills for distillation spirits. So you get in what's also known as a wash. One time it's gone through, it'll come in as a low wine because it's in the 15 to 20, 22, and then you still it again and until it becomes the spirits. And a lot of those pot stills, or alembic stills are made out of copper. And then you also have column stills, which are different types of metal where you distill in columns. So we distill it 5 times and then we filter it. We have a natural filter, which I made out of Polish birch trees. Again, following old traditions.
Polish what?
Birch trees.
Okay.
So in Poland, we have an abundance. We're fortunate. Lots of potatoes, lots of grains, and lots of birch trees.
Gotcha.
And another Pole, very, very smart, much, much, much smarter than me, figured out that he could take these Polish birch trees, debranch them, press them, roll them over fire, and he created a really good charcoal that was almost as natural as he could be, almost a healing effect. So we filter Wodka.
Okay, cool.
We filter Wodka twice over these, this filtration made out of Polish birch tree, and then we let it sit and rest.
So it's like a charcoal filtration.
Yes, and then we let it sit and rest because you've had a lot of things going there. You've crushed it. You added water. You heat up the water. You start cooking. You start fermenting. You create these gases coming through CO2. You're transferring sugar into alcohol. You start distilling, and then you're filtering. So we then just let it sit and rest. And one thing with vodka, which, many other great spirits, just like a good wine. I know you don't drink now, but one thing we try to say to all our teams across the country and elsewhere where we're fortunate, we're in about 40 US states. We're almost in a dozen countries, again, pre-COVID kind of, but is let people try this room temperature. And people go, wow, you're nuts. I go, tell me something new.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that.
Room temperature. Thank you. Room temperature. Why? I have nothing to hide. A lot of times, you got to try this frozen. You got to try like this. It's well, why? Try it room temperature.
Yeah.
You should see some brands. I'm not going to name any names. You try them room temperature, and somebody makes a face like they're chewing on a wasp, or somebody, you know, they have a face of a bulldog. You know, oh.
Yeah.
With Wodka, because it's all natural and it's just really good quality spirits. It's very clean. It's got that rye bread, soft, smooth, little pepper notes. Hallmark of a good rye. Makes it great in a martini, great in any cocktail on its own. I like to sip at room temperature if I'm eating some fish or sushi. Fortunate living on the coast in Florida, I eat a lot of seafood, so I like to just have a little bit in a wine glass, sip it with a bit of water. But that's just me. I guess that's how my grandfather would still enjoy a little bit of vodka.
Yeah.
So with that said, you know, just a very great quality, clean spirit. And we were fortunate. We won one of the biggest competitions, the Oscars per May of the wine and spirits world. It's called the San Francisco World Spirit Wine and Spirit Competition. Wodka won double gold. They also won the best category. And they called us up the day after and said, congratulations, Daniel. You beat 175 other global huge brands, great brands and grand names.
Yeah.
From Tito's to Grey Goose to Belvedere to Chopin, you name it.
You beat them all.
But the kicker was overall category winner, Waka Waka Poland, $12.99.
$12.99.
So not cheap. I might be cheap, but affordable.
Yeah.
So you're looking at, this is a liter, but the regular size 750, which you have in the stores.
Yeah.
You're looking at about $13.99 in the store all day. So a great value for money. I know I'm went in on a tangent trying to sell here.
No,
you know,
that's fine, dude.
But again, that quality is there, and you know, 100% imported. You know.
Yeah.
So.
And now, when you said it, you like to let it rest for a while. How long does it rest?
It'll rest normally for a few days, sometimes a week or so,
and then it goes into bottling,
and then it gets bottled. Yeah. And then you know, and again, just like I guess bartending and you know running bars and whatnot, that whole kind of show that you get into a balance.
Yeah.
So too with a brand, and I'm sure John could attest to that. Like it's the ordering, it's the marketing, it's the support, it's being out there socially too, networking, talking to old fellow bartenders, buyers, right? Letting them taste it, try it. And then of course also the business side of it where you're making sense where you have a great product, but you also acknowledge that it's a big pond out there and there's a lot of fish in the pond.
Yeah.
How do we swim? I've always tried to swim with everyone. Sometimes I've tried to swim faster or jump over or under, but you know, this business we're in, and that's also bars and restaurants, wouldn't you say, brother? It's all about building bridges, not burning them.
Right.
And as big as it is around the world, it's also very small.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just try to, and I touch wood, learn every day and, you know, from mistakes too, and try not to do as many as one did in young years.
Yeah.
But just to try and have, you know, in our essence, a great product and a great service. And it's the people you work with and the people that try it and where it adds value, you know, so.
Yeah, when you're our size, the smaller brands, we don't have any room to mess up.
No.
We have no leeway. We can't screw up anywhere. We can't burn any bridges. You have to depend on others to help you out. You know, especially in my case, I don't have a budget. You know, it's really tight, and I depend on friends. Well,
let's do the friendly thing and share what you've brought.
Well,
to
here
us,
you
right?
go. All right, so
beautiful.
And then you'll have to explain it to us all. Come on, bottoms.
Cheers.
Bottoms.
Cheers.
I want some bottoms.
Cheers.
What you want to do is the first thing is this garnish. It's a basil leaf skewered with some mozzarella pearls and a little balsamic glaze and some of the rimmer salt. Eat that. And then rinse with the Bloody Mary, and it's like a caprese salad.
This guy's good.
You see what I'm saying?
And you got New Amsterdam in here? Just kidding.
New Amsterdam, what? I don't know what that is.
Oh my God, that's so good. I'm just gonna be drinking.
Yeah, and the thing is, we make this rimmer salt that's specifically made for this. So it's more of a sweet heat. So if you taste the rimmer salt and then rinse with this, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's called Salty Blonde.
There's a rimmer salt.
And it goes really well with this mix. So it's made specifically for that.
All right, so you got to tell us what's up. Why is it blonde? Let's go, buddy. You got some explaining to do.
Everybody.
Actually, a really good reason.
So in 2012, we have a bridge run in Charleston. It's a 10K, and it's 40,000 people hit this bridge run. It's crazy.
I've watched it.
So Kettle One decided to do a Bloody Mary throwdown, and they had 15 people come in, and it was going to be for the bridge run, and it's, the best Bloody Mary. And there were 14 restaurants, and they needed somebody to fill in. So they called me at the last minute and said, "Hey, you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can help." And so I said, "So what's going on with these bloodies? Like, who's doing what? I don't need to know who, but what's the basic flavor profile?" And back then it was all bacon fat, wash this, and just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking, this is 40,000 runners.
Yeah.
They're gonna throw up.
Yeah.
This is gonna kill them. So one of the first restaurant that I worked at in Charleston was called Hank's. And the chef there, he's from Ireland. His name's Frank McMahon. And he did this yellow tomato gazpacho that was out of this world. It's the best thing that I've ever, he's amazing as a chef, but this yellow tomato gazpacho just blew my mind because it's hot as hell in Charleston, and this was so light and so bright and so delicious. Like, I craved it. So I kind of based it on this. So I took his recipe, and then I looked at Tony Abuganim is another bartender. He's a pillar in this industry. He's in Vegas now. Tony is one of the nicest guys in the world, does a lot for charity. And he kind of did a spin on a little yellow tomato bloody. So I combined the two and came up with my mix, and it won the competition. And then it won another one later in the year. So that was in April 2012. In October, I won another one. And then people started asking for it. And I was like, it's a pain in the ass, man. Because Bloody Mary mixes traditionally, that's the vast majority of them are made with tomato paste and water and then a spice pack.
God, yeah.
So there's no yellow tomato paste. There's no yellow tomato juice.
Yeah.
So I have to make it from scratch. And man, I was making it in my kitchen at first to get these people, just because people were asking for it. And then it got to where it's like more people were asking. So I was making more and more in 5-gallon buckets.
But that's a good problem to have if you're a startup business. Like, people constantly asking you to. You weren't even a startup business.
It was a pain in the ass. I was just trying to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, I'm in it for $100,000. I'm like, holy shit! There's no way out now. I'm in too deep. So trial and error and 2 years of finding the right tomatoes. And
how'd you get a distributor for yellow tomatoes? Are they heirloom? Or
I can get.
All
right, so I can get yellow tomatoes. Here's the process right now as it is. I live in Charleston. Columbia is an hour and a half away. There's a farmer's market there. So I rent a cargo van or a truck, and I go up there, drive to Columbia, and I pick up as many cases of tomatoes, yellow tomatoes I can fit. In a van, I can fit 140. Truck, I can fit like 85, 90.
Wow.
So I go up there and physically pick them up, take them back to the warehouse where I'm at. And I have a friend of mine that helps me out, and we go through every case. We pull out all the ripe ones to separate them first. We separate the not so ripe ones, put them outside, take the ripe ones, and start processing them. But before we do that, in order to get this color, sometimes they're yellow, like bright yellow.
Yeah.
We want that color. So I'll open up the garage bay doors and I'll, face the south. So I'll get the sun. We'll set them out in the sun and they'll change color right in front of your eyes. It's really cool.
That is amazing.
Because that's what changes them to orange. Yellow tomatoes will change orange.
That's cool.
But if you
They
go
need
too
direct
long,
sunlight.
then they bleach, they turn white.
Oh.
So you got to be really careful. So
And then do you cold bath them if they get too orange? Do you have to cool them off? Or do something with them?
it's fine. Once you just pull them in and then we
Just get them in the shade.
Yeah, so we pull them inside, and then we, once they change color, if they're still not ripe enough, we put them out to the side. But we take the ones that are the ripest, and then we chop them up, and then we put them in 5-gallon buckets and puree them with a big immersion blender, a boat motor, and then we take them over to this
Fucking
little
paint mixer, buddy. Come on.
yeah.
I got a paint mixer on a drill.
That's exactly what it is. With two more blades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little troll motor.
And so, and then we do that. And then we have this little tabletop machine that we got from Italy that they use for tomato sauces. So it separates the skins and the seeds from the juice. So the skin and seeds come out, the pulp comes out on one side, the juice comes out on the other. Then we take that and put that through another strainer, a chinois, And then so I'm straining this, and that's why I need surgery, because I got nerve damage from doing this with a
working
mortar
it?
pestle. Yeah, because that's the only way we can do it. That's what we have.
Wow.
So, and then we take that over and we make, so we have that. The ingredients, as you can see on the back, there's no chemicals, no preservatives, low sodium, low sugar. We make our own hot sauce. We make our own pickle vinegar. And then it's white pepper, pink sea salt, and lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. So, the ingredients that you see, we make everything from scratch. So I got to make batches and batches of the hot sauce. And
you've given me that, not the hot sauce itself, but the pulp from it.
Yeah. So what I do is I puree all the stuff. It's jalapenos and onions and garlic and parsnips and honey and
vinegar. It's a great relish for on hot dogs. Not the hot sauce itself, but what he doesn't use for hot sauce.
Right, the solids.
Instead of getting rid of it, he gave me a jar of it, and it's an excellent relish.
I put it with some hummus and pizza bread.
Yeah.
I use it
I'm
on
at it at all.
Shrimp tacos, fish tacos, chicken tacos, all that stuff. So I was always throwing it out, and finally I was like, well, this is actually kind of good if I could just tweak it. So now I add mangoes and pineapple, and now it's this tropical jalapeno relish.
Yeah,
and I'm bottling that, so I've got a label for that. I'm waiting on the labels.
But you have to make a hot sauce to add to this,
and a pickle vinegar.
And a pickle vinegar. Oh boy! Somebody's calling in.
I know who this is.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Should we take it?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Hello, you're on the air.
Oh, she hung up. Okay.
Call back.
I'll tell you, I know exactly who it is. So today is my friend Shannon's birthday.
Oh my God, dueling.
Yes. Shannon is 50 today. So happy birthday, Shannon. Cheers to Shannon.
Happy birthday,
love you.
Shannon.
Happy birthday. Hopefully she calls back. That was her. I said, call in. She's like, John's gonna be on the show. She's a veteran of bartending. She bartended all throughout Boston, some of the nicer places up in the city. She knows what she's doing.
She's the dueling banjo.
Mm-hmm.
So it is though. It does have. I was never a fan of Bloody Marys.
Right.
But this is very light. It's very different than.
Thank you, Bob and Tom Show.
Shannon.
Hey.
Happy birthday! You're on the air.
Hello.
Happy birthday.
Can you see us or can you just hear us?
I can.
You can what?
It's my birthday. I'm 50.
Well, we are drinking Bloody Marys in your honor. Happy birthday.
Listen, I appreciate that. And I appreciate that recipe as well. Let me tell you, I was listening in.
Oh, good. Yeah, we're enjoying this. I've seen now Shannon loves blueberry vodka with lemonade. That's like her thing. But I got to tell you, Shannon, you got to try this vodka, this Polish rye. Oh my God, you're gonna fall in love with it.
Blueberries from the store.
Yeah.
Muddle them down.
It's like
wait, what's the vodka?
Vodka, and get some blueberries from the store. Muddle it down. You're a veteran bartender, so you'll know what to do with it. But it's
too much.
It's so good. If you go on to www.wodkavodka.com, it's WODKA and then VODKA.com.
No, it's
Listen, vodka is like
a vodka.
The website is WODKA.
As a veteran bartender, vodka to me is like when you make a base for bread. Okay, you can do anything. Mm-hmm. You can add anything to it. It could be bitter, sweet, salty. It doesn't matter. Everything will go with vodka, and everything goes with anything when you're 50.
Yeah, listen, half a century, man. You don't look a day over 25.
Oh, it's such an accomplishment. If you ever told me for the last 2 decades that I'd make it to the last 2 decades, I never would have believed you. So this is truly an accomplishment.
That water you're drinking out in the hot, man, it's doing so good.
I can't believe
you listen.
The nuclear waste dump.
The water I've been drinking on like 5 different continents. I've always wondered, but it's helped me survive COVID, so it's working out pretty well. I figure if you're a bartender for life and you've actually picked bar mats up, whether they were from the floor or on the bar, with your hands, you're probably not going to get COVID.
Or done a bar, or done a bar mat shooter or 5.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, no, I've never actually shot that stuff, but I'm thinking just by like touching it and it permeating through my skin, I'm pretty sure that I'm safe from
What's this girl's
pretty
name?
much any. It's why I've never been sick.
Shannon, I'm a dog groomer. I shave ass for a living. Like,
You totally understand.
So as a
100%.
veteran bartender, and I mean, haven't bartended as long as everyone else, but it does a job on your body.
Hey, what are you talking about? I have titanium in my right hip. That's like a gift. Bartending gave me that. I'm part titanium.
So
At 50.
should we sing her happy birthday?
I think we should.
You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
I love
Happy
it.
birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday, dear Shannon. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Listen, I am in the snow. It's coming down pretty heavy here.
Oh, that's right. She's in
I
Massachusetts.
bought
God.
200 battery operated candles in case the snow or rain did ruin my regular candles.
Candles? No, I'm just kidding.
No, just candles.
Okay.
Just candles right now. It's
No
still
fog
early, for
alarms or
Christ's
anything?
sakes. It just got dark out. For God's sakes,
Oh my
give me a
God.
few.
Give me a few.
Give me a freaking break there.
I like to ease in. I like to start with candles.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh.
I like where this is going.
Wow.
Give us a little bit of vodka,
It's
some
perfect.
Bloody
Yeah,
Mix, and
yeah.
Shannon
Okay.
Dooley, and we're
All right, well,
So anyhow, that rye.
before we're kicked off, thank you so much for understanding and for celebrating my half a century.
You are the
Of
best, dear. Happy
An
birthday.
amazing life, a unique life.
Good for
I would
you.
like to say, welcome 50. I'm going to suit you just fine.
All right.
You are.
Pictures are great.
We
Trust me.
love you. Thank you for
Thank you,
calling in,
dear.
and enjoy the rest
Thank
of your
you
birthday,
so much.
honey.
Thank you, you
Good night.
guys.
Happy birthday.
That was lovely.
All
We've
right.
never sang happy birthday on the show before. So
I
that was
know.
kinda
That's
cool.
why I'm like, Colin, we're gonna sing to you.
All right, who's
Right.
screening these calls?
But hold on. I know. So she was a doll.
No. she's
So,
cool.
but this thing is very different. Like, before she called, I have to say, like, I was not a fan of Bloody Marys, but this is not
So
like
good.
a traditional Bloody Mary.
No, it doesn't have that like heartburn feel that you get from other ones because it's just a nice, and then you put in the Wodka and it's like wow, it's like a
See,
whole
the whole
different
thing
taste.
is that it's
Clean
fresh.
and you could
It's
have more
much
than one
cleaner.
without
It's
feeling
not so
so
heavy.
Yeah, everything in it's made from scratch. The
Yeah.
second thing is yellow tomatoes are lower in acid
Oh, is
than
that what
red
it is?
tomatoes. So you get a blank slate. So you can basically kind of tweak it to where you want it. So because we don't use any chemicals or preservatives, we have to make it so that the pH level is at a certain point
Yeah.
below 4.2. So it is a little acidic on that, but it's not. It's like when you take a red tomato, you have to add all that stuff because a red tomato will dominate anything.
Yeah.
So that's what the
Yeah.
thing is with yellows, they're so much lighter and brighter because where I live, it's 100 degrees in the summertime every day. So, you're sweating, your Scooby's
Yeah.
off. And,
You can't
and-
start the day off with a
right. And the whole
with a
thing
red
is like,
Bloody
all right, so
Mary.
it's 98 degrees, it's hot as balls, and you're sitting there and you're hungover because that's usually a lot of the reason why people drink bloodies.
Yes.
And the hair of the dog, and you're putting that salt bomb marinara sauce down your throat. Next thing you know, you're swelling up from the salt, you're sweating out crap, and you got
Yeah.
heartburn, and you want to get sick.
Yeah.
So it's like this is an alternative to that, to where it's fresh and it's natural and it's lighter. You can drink 3 of these to any of the other major ones because it's more refreshing and lighter. That's I guess brighter.
Yeah.
And that's what I, when I first did this, it's because of that reason. It's beach boat and golf.
Have you ever tried green tomatoes?
Yeah, tomatillos. Mm-hmm.
But
They're
not
still thicker,
tomatillos,
though.
not tomatillos, because they tend to be a little spicy. That's a
Well,
little different. But like a good heirloom green tomato.
Yeah, but see, the thing
like
is
fully
is
ripened green.
anything that's like that, that's why I can't use heirlooms because
can't use
heirlooms are
heirlooms.
meaty. They're not really juiced
Ah,
tomatoes. They're more
gotcha.
meaty. They're really good
Yeah.
for sandwiches and slicing for
Yeah.
salads and all that stuff. But they don't give you the yield for the juice as you
Gotcha.
have. So, the purple Cherokees and all that stuff, I love them. But they're more for salads and sandwiches. So these are juice tomatoes. They're Carolina Golds, Valencia Golds. We went through a lot of tomatoes to get to the ones that we decided were the best for what our purpose is. And they came out great. And, the color will differ a little bit. But for the most part, this is what we try to keep our consistency is that color and the flavor base, because everything's, it is what it is. And
so how many places is this available right now? Is it
We're
like
in
an online thing or is it in stores?
We do take online orders because shipping is really weird. Right now I just ask that people send me your address, and then I can get you a quote ASAP, for whatever you want. The more you order, the cheaper it ends up being overall bottle cost per bottle.
Yeah.
It's weird how it works like that. It's kind of counterintuitive, but I get people all the time. I've been shipping to the West Coast like crazy. People in Seattle, you got to understand, I want to get it out to Washington, 2 bottles. There's going to cost you $30 a bottle.
Yeah.
I can't justify that. I can't do that. I can't charge you that. That's what I have to charge you. I don't want to do that.
But the shipping is through the roof. I have a friend that I've been buying hot sauces off of in New York, and he's starting out this company, and I love hot sauce. So I've been I do my part and buy local kind of whatever, buy from friends, small business. And yeah, it's wildly expensive for me for hot sauce because I have to add $20 in shipping.
Right.
And it's like $20 in hot sauce. It's like another 3 bottles of hot sauce.
Yeah. So you get a nice arsenal with that.
Right. But see, on that note, just a little teaser here. We are in the works of trying to, we got some things working that are going to help us out tremendously, get the product out to, nationwide.
And how is so your arm hurts and whatnot from doing the work? You can scale this thing to some degree.
We are
and get machinery to do the job.
We're in some talks right now to.
He's in a good place.
Do you custom build the machinery, or this machinery already exists?
No, there's machinery that already exists.
There is.
And there's different ways depending on how you want to do this.
Yeah.
But we are talking to some people. That have stepped up to the plate. That want to help us out. And if this does happen, it's coming to an area near you. Stay tuned.
It's just so strange because I would drink that. I wouldn't drink a Bloody Mary. I really wouldn't.
Like, I'd like to see this at Brick and Spoon. I don't know if you've ever been to Brick and Spoon in Maitland, but they are jam packed every Saturday and Sunday for brunch. And they make these. I sent you guys pictures. They make these massive Bloody Marys. They give you a menu of the things you want in your Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Like from vegetables to proteins to cheeses.
Bloody Marys is an entire culture unto itself.
Oh, yeah. But I'm going to tell you right now, none this blows it away. Like they really need to bring both.
I think that it's like if you want to put a rib and a chicken wing and a slider and a bunch of shrimp and Fred Garvin male prostitute in your glass here, this isn't going to hurt you like those other ones would because you eat all that stuff and then if you're rinsing with the other bloodies, you're going to feel sick. Only because of the chemicals and the salt and all that stuff.
And let alone also, just as a little by the way. You have many other vodka brands that, quite frankly, you put in there and you'd notice it straight away or not. And you have a product that's all natural too, non-GMO.
Yeah, Danny and
two of them
I
work together.
I think I liked it.
Danny and I are.
So how big of a movement?
Stay tuned.
So how many people in the business care about non-GMO and organic and things like that? Like, is it taking over the business at all? Is it 10%? Is it 30%?
Maybe not in spirits. I mean, people are becoming more and more wary.
It's generational.
Quality, and of course, when people say, it's a gluten-free. Well, quite frankly, and just recently, it was finally, I think it came out written that it was, when something's been distilled, you've more or less extinguished all the gluten. So, most products, craft or quality, there's a brand for everyone, right? I say there are no bad spirits, of course, in a subjective way, but each to every one. Some have few more good spirits that they prefer. It's like you talk about whiskeys. There are no bad whiskeys. Just maybe whiskeys I don't like, some I prefer.
Yeah.
When you talk about vodkas too, again, going back to I don't have, the comfort of aging it or, but yet I get a great spirit that I can enjoy in so many different ways. A good vodka too, where it's not intrusive or it's got that, you have a lot of
like his because of the rye, it's got that inherent type of sweetness to where it's not real alcohol-y, methane or ethanol-y.
Yeah.
So where it
rubbing
blends
alcohol.
well.
Where
Yeah,
this
man.
it lends itself so well with, these two together, it's like birds of a feather.
We've got to
say, and this in a martini, this on its own, and a lot of bars, around the world, they've done it for a long time. It's not, Eureka.
Yeah.
We've all had infused stuff, been doing it forever.
Yeah.
When you infuse stuff with this, like some bars like to do a pineapple vodka, for instance.
Yeah.
Because that's their jam.
Yeah.
Just get fresh pineapples, believe it or not. Put in a good vodka has that kind of nice, all natural to it. And you don't have to add a lot of sugar or stuff that you might have to add when you're using a spirit that is not as pure or as high quality, I should say. And kind of going back to some of those spirits where you wouldn't want to let someone taste them room temperature.
Yeah.
And again, that's not saying they're bad. They'll be great with cranberry
but
and
what
soda.
What is it? Is it an ingredient and a distiller?
Sometimes
filtering. What is it?
You have, again, quality. Comes in many different ways. And levels, but a lot of times certain spirits are neutral grain spirits. You don't really know where it comes from, and mass produced. Nothing bad about that. And then you have something where just in different levels, different kind of scenarios. And we're fortunate. We have a state grown rye. We know where our base comes from. We know the grain. We call it grain to glass, literally start to finish. We can trace it. We know it. Not to say that those that don't have that isn't as great. Again, each to their own, as they say. But we're fortunate, and the difference when you use something like this, the two go together so extremely well.
And that's the other thing is, when you're smaller brands like us, and I know Danny really well, he knows me really well. We're holding nothing back, man. It's like he's got a great product, and I'm gonna back that 100% every single time. And the thing is I know I can call him up and say, hey man, we got some things, because we have some things going on. Where we were at the last festival in the United States was in October. It was a DJ fest in Myrtle Beach, and Danny donated some product. I donated product. I'm doing another project on the side where I'm doing frozen cocktails to go using his stuff. And we put that stuff backstage for the talent. They were like, holy crap, they want to take us on the road. So we're doing Sewanee next month.
Oh, really?
So we're going to be in Sewanee next month.
Oh, that sounds like a good time. Who's playing it?
Well, it's like Dumpster Funk. It's going to be smaller this year.
Okay.
But it's
all right. You twisted my arm. I'll totally go with you guys.
Okay, then.
So now, but here's the thing.
That's why you raise awareness.
Because it's I have a hard time backing a product that I wouldn't do myself. So this is a great product. His company's wonderful. They're approachable. It's got it's a match made in heaven. And the thing is now we're working on other things where, like after Sewanee, we're going to be, we're scheduled to go to another one in October in California, which is like Metallica and
Twist my arm.
and all that stuff. Like, it's a metal fest for 4 days. We have that opportunity. So
but you're backstage.
We're going to hit the talent.
You're doing
all the artists.
So I mean, we're not big enough to you
can't do the front house.
Things, but
you're already killing.
The thing is we appreciate, like I appreciate all the stuff he does for me. He does all this, like it's never a no. I'm always going to say yes to him. He's always going to say yes. We're coming to it, and there's some other things that we got working that are going to be innovative as hell. And I can't wait to get moving on this. If this, if whatever happens to my product pans out, we've already got some things working that are going to be really, really cool and innovative in the industry.
Creative,
like really
but there
cool.
are trends though throughout the industry, and they, suddenly something becomes cool in Paris, and then it goes to England, and London, and then it goes to New York, and then out to LA.
But it's like
so these things, this could create a real wave.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
you know, the thing is you have to really care about your stuff and put the effort into making it the best possible product, or else it's lipstick on a pig and then it gets that 5-minute shelf life.
Yeah.
And that's not what we want.
They're not a
Yeah.
gimmick.
We're both,
They're the real
he's a
deal.
brand
Yeah.
builder. Like he has built brands from scratch by himself. And that's why I dig it, because I watch what he does. And all the work that goes into this and just the patience and the care, that's what it's all about. You can throw something in a bottle and get, pay somebody $1 million to say, hey, dude, try this. I'm a big name and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't mean it's any good.
And over time, people will either like it or they won't, because the proof is in the pudding.
Right. And that's the thing, is you want to buy a brand that's endorsed by somebody because you like them in a movie. That's fine. That's all good. I'd rather have something that's going to last, that
was built,
put care into it, and make sure it's the best.
Well, plus
that
that, you have
longevity.
We have a lot of legacy businesses in general in the food market and in other markets that people are just done with. They just
the thing is, a vodka is a vodka is a vodka is a vodka is a vodka, but that's not true anymore.
Yeah.
You have to have, now there's crap this and
exactly.
And, it's like he was saying, we pour it over, diamond studded, unicorn feces and blah blah blah. And it's like, you gotta get
they got it from my backyard.
Yeah, that pristine water came from my garden hose. It's got spider shit in it, but who cares? But and that's the thing.
And the bottle's frosty and
beautiful
and
cool.
And it's like a half naked lady.
The product inside is worth 50 cents, but the bottle costs us $18.
Well, I mean, it's like Apple. Like the packaging is like half of what you pay for. Like
and that's the thing. Hey,
man, it's very plastic.
Look, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Like no more power to them. I'm just saying it is what it is. But I just can't go that route. I mean, I can't cut corners.
Yeah. I don't live in that world either. That's why I asked about like the non-GMO and whatnot. I'm not a snowflake, but I've been accused of it, but I'm really not. But I don't care about gluten-free. I know people that do, but I do think that we need to go back to some of the older traditions and slightly smaller production values numbers, because something's getting lost.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing is too, is like if you're making this product in France and in Portugal and in the United States and in blah blah blah, it's going to taste different. I'm sorry.
And the identity.
Well, it's like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
What you're saying too, it loses a bit of identity too.
Yeah.
And I mean, and God forbid we have a bit of fun too. What we do, right? We all work hard, and we're trying to do something here, and we're not reinventing the wheel. We have great products, and we enjoy what we do, and a lot of the work, as we mentioned, I guess earlier, a lot of the hours are not really seen or posted or doing this now, but it's being able to take that step further and grow in markets, right? The relationships, and when you have great products and you work with great people, you expand, you build bigger bridges, you elevate your platforms, and your scene or your stage gets bigger. Yeah, and then with that comes, of course, planning, marketing, advertising, brand awareness, opportunities like tonight, for instance. And here we are sitting in your studio, having a great time talking and sharing. And we for instance too, it's all about what it says in the image too. And this is a very simple, straightforward early Polish 20th century label. And one of the things we have in certain stores, we have a case card that says, we're top shelf. We're just easier to reach, And God forbid, it's all about evoking emotions. We'll do a shirt. Wodka rocks. It's so cool. It rocks. Or you know what? Let me help you. How you want to drink? Oh, I'll have a Wodka rocks.
You want that? Yeah.
We have the Wodka soda, and down the road, cities. Wodka Orlando, Wodka Miami. Yeah. A lot of our dear friends, bar owners, and fellow bartenders across the country that use Wodka as their first pour, as their preferred spirit, because it's value and great quality, and we support it. Yeah. Down the road, we'll mention them too. But it's I think it's a constant evolution, right? Where we just try and help and support every day. And I think especially since what 2020, which was a bit of a shocker and a bit of a little bit. Yeah, in every way.
It was a real punch in the face.
Yeah,
knocker.
And in the hospitality industry, especially, where not to get into it, but so many bars and restaurants that struggle really, really hard. And I know a lot of our friends and a lot of brands, a lot of people tried in their best ways to support. And we did too. And hopefully whatever this is will soon, I'm hoping the world will reopen. And a lot of these great bars and restaurants, we forget that they also help build communities, neighborhood bars, restaurants, and many of them didn't get a lot of help, which a lot of big corporations did. And, a lot of these places helped our brand. So we, of course, in return, as best as we could, try to help them. And it's when you're with a team, a good team, you go through good times and kind of the bad times together, and that really solidifies you, I guess, as a unit or as a team. And
buying local, buy local, buy local, buy local.
I'll say this,
support
though.
your local businesses.
Support your local bartenders, support your local bars, support your local restaurants. And sorry, and I'm gonna shut up, but in many different ways, some great local communities, regional communities, cities, where they were really trying to help. A lot of our friends were given temporary licenses to sell liquor off the premise and off premise. So essentially, they became a liquor store. I miss my New York and hearing you. What I'm saying? It became a liquor store. I'm saying, hey, Paulie, I'll get 2/5. Give me two and a pack of smokes. But what they were doing, which was great, they got to, with their distributor, right? They got to order other sizes. So they would put a shelf up, where they couldn't serve inside in some states. They would serve outside or take away to go. We would help them, would donate some product or, we helped out, and that's what you do. You
gotta help out.
Yeah, you gotta help out. Hey, Paulie, come on, give me 2. Come on, give me 3. Give me 4. Give me 10. Come on, what you doing here?
And 2 times.
Hey, 2 times.
Johnny
Give me 2
Four
bottles,
Fingers,
2 times, So what we would do, cocktail kits, and they would also sell. And thankfully, in some places, I think they still are allowed, and they were still selling. They were allowed to sell booze, and a lot of times those bottles that were sold and kits, it helped out. Because I think what a lot of people don't understand how difficult it is to operate a restaurant. Oh, you can do 25% capacity. I mean, that's how impossible.
That's impossible, and they're going to lose money every time they turn the lights on.
So I'm really hoping that we're going towards a great bright future again, and everyone's healthy, and we start rebuilding in essence.
I have been eating at my favorite restaurant really since the beginning of this thing, like just making sure that guy keeps those doors open, because and I would give him whatever, I get takeout and it'd be $40. I give the guy $100, right? Because my business was able to run. So I give the guy 100, and he's like, "Oh, you gave me too much." I'm like, "No, man, don't shut the doors, bro." You know what I mean?
We need you.
This whole thing has shown that you have to bring some sort of value for your product.
100%.
Whether it's a restaurant or it's a bar or it's a vodka or it's a Bloody Mary mix, you have to show
or a strip club.
You're bringing I mean, if I want to see stab bullet holes, I'll go to my family reunion. But it's like you have to show some sort of value, and regardless of what it is. And like in your case, it's that restaurant has a value to you.
Oh, absolutely.
His vodka has a value to me and a lot of other places because of the cost on it and the effort that goes into making it and keeping the prices down, because that's really important right now.
Mm-hmm.
My stuff it's made from scratch. I mean, there's no other way around it. There's nothing else I can do right now until something else happens. So I make every bottle.
I mean, it's interesting because a product like this one, the Natural Blonde, is something that you would find like in a high end, like in a Whole Foods or something.
Yeah,
where
like a Fresh Market or
incredibly
Sprouts,
small distribution and hand selected because of its hand-picked quality of ingredients.
Right, I'm working on that though. It's like I'm trying to scale up to where it's going to be, more affordable. It's there's only so many things you can do. You got to contract out with farmers. To grow specifically for you, the specific kinds of tomatoes. And then once you get, my whole problem's been capital. So once we get the capital,
and you got to buy the guy's entire crop before he even plants.
There's ways you can work around that.
That's a lot.
We can buy.
Commitment.
Here's the deal: we can buy from Mexico if we wanted to. But I'm not going to do that. I'd rather hit the American farmer.
Mm-hmm.
You want it around the corner from you.
It is or somewhere that's in the
The
USA.
logistics, right?
Yeah.
Transportation
Yeah,
too.
yeah, you know, and
Timing
it's
and
just,
cost.
Yeah.
and plus I know what I'm getting.
Well, otherwise you got to
You
pick
know.
them all green or barely yellow, and then hope they turn orange and everything else.
Right.
Right. What did you think, Dean? Did you try any?
I haven't tried it.
Uh-oh. So I do.
I'll
I
try
have
to
a
leave
friend,
some for you.
I have a friend in New York who owns a club, and he can't open, and it's devastating to these people. And I would say though that because normally, I mean, the show isn't geared around artists and whatnot, but you guys are technically artists. But I will say that Shakespeare wrote all of his plays in a bar.
Yeah.
And bars in and of themselves are the cornerstones of civilization.
Yeah.
It might not feel that way now, especially to young people. Depending on, if you're in a larger metropolitan area, you might not see the same people. But like Cheers, that exists, even though that was in a big city, Boston. The hometown I'm from, everybody on one side in one bar, and
That's why
everybody
they're called
in another bar.
they're called public houses.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
pub.
what it is.
You
That's
know,
what it is.
It's and some of them are called Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a weird thing when citizens can't go to them.
Yeah.
And then something like this takes its place. I'm sorry. You
Right.
can't
And the
all
thing
speak
is with
back,
this,
but-
it's like
you know.
this is for celebrations. It's for, sad events, good events, whatever.
Yeah.
We never go out of our way to say, hey man, drink, to excess or whatever. Everybody
Yeah.
needs to drink responsibly. The applications for my bloody mix, it's you can do.
Well, I'm
ceviches
drinking
and
it dry.
gumbos
I
and-
mean, I'm drinking
Right.
it without. It's fine. I mean,
there's chefs that are using it for ceviche, gazpacho, dirty
Yeah.
rice, gumbo.
yeah,
all
I would
sorts of
cook with
stuff.
that in 2 seconds.
So,
Absolutely.
but that's the value that I was
Yeah.
talking about. You have to add value, especially now when it's like everything's tight. So if you can get 5 applications out of a product or something,
Yeah.
like with it's with the vodka, it's good in a martini.
Well,
It's
what's the
good in
best
all this other
recipe
stuff.
you've heard out of this? What's the best? Because I don't know. It might go okay with like a butternut ravioli.
I mean,
It might be all right
yeah,
with that.
well, there's pasta.
I'm gonna make a
yeah,
soup
there's
out of
Butternut
it.
squash ravioli or
pasta
something.
dishes.
Pasta.
We did a ceviche.
It might be good with a little asparagus ceviche.
We did a bluefish because it's a little bit heavier.
We should have
fish.
more chefs on, dude. Can you put a kitchen in the back?
We'll
Maybe
get them.
paint it red.
Let's change this to a cooking show, dude.
We'll
Change
get
this. Yeah.
But you look at certain just applications too while
Yeah.
we're talking, and I was just up in St. Augustine just a few weeks back. I drove up and had some meetings mindfully, of course, where
Sure.
and old friends, but also people I do business with, operators and owners, and some were shut, some were open, and some just reopened, and great to see them, and asking how they are, and it's a relationship that you have, right? Of course, they have the almost day to day with our distributor here in Florida, and like we have in other states, other distributors, but they're our customers, and
Yeah.
you build a relationship, a friendship, right? And again, what he's saying, adding value, and one of them was he moved places, and that's again your kind of testament, right, to a good relationship. Like we all rotate over the years, different bars and restaurants,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and sometimes where you went, you take your relationships with you too. Like, hey Tony, bring me your gin, or hey Stefan, bring me your scotch, or et cetera, and you'd show it to your owner if you didn't own the bar, or if you ran the bar, you ran it by the owner too, or if you had autonomy, he believed in you. Here are the keys. I want you to run my bar.
Yeah.
I also want you to streamline it. You're Mr. Wolf, which
Yeah.
I did a few times in my life. I clean up a bar,
Yeah.
messes, and a lot of it was my relationships, support from brands, adding value,
Yeah.
and again, making it into a tight ship. And then when the customers came, they were entertained, wined and dined, and
Yeah.
happy. And then they left. And like, I'm coming back here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Tom working tonight? Because he's great, and
Yeah.
he's my favorite bartender, and kind of the cheers feeling where everybody knows your name. And this Italian place, a friend had just left one place in St. Augustine, a very popular cocktail bar, and went to this high volume Italian restaurant and bar, and he helped change the beverage program. And I just suggested, just like, because it's such a great spirit and it's clean, it's got that whatever it comes in contact with, there's nothing intrusive because it's such a great pure spirit. I suggested, here, let me give you some samples. And my friend Kelly was like, what do you mean? I said, talk to the owner chef, he'll know what I mean. Because I saw on your menu, you're a vodka penne.
Ah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So he probably used another vodka.
Yeah.
Not saying the name, probably good, but probably have to add sugar and stuff to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Try that. You don't need nothing.
Yeah.
I came back. It's like, perfect. It's now called the Wodka penne. So again, awareness.
Nice, yeah.
So when people see the W, they're going to go, "Excuse me, waiter, I think you have a spelling
Well,
mistake
this-
here."
yeah.
And then, no, it's our house vodka. It's called Wodka. So again, it gets on your mind.
Yeah.
Another one is
Planting the seed, literally.
Literally.
Oh, yeah.
Another one is all the Italian great restaurants and bars, some that are open and more that will be reopening one day soon. Touch wood, I thank God, Dio mio. Make your limoncello with this.
Yeah.
I've done it a few times in
Limoncello.
my life. I've used certain spirits, and I use our vodka. I do a homemade limoncello, and it's phenomenal. I take organic lemons.
Yeah.
I skin them. I just take the peels, throw the peels in, about a dozen lemon peels, the peels of about a dozen lemons. No pith. I tell it the pith off. I take the pith out.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
throw that in
Pith
for
off.
about a week.
Yeah.
And for a week, I leave it in, turn it every day. And then eventually I will, strain out the peels.
Yeah.
And then I'll add a bit of organic cane sugar or some organic agave just to taste.
Yeah.
Roll it around, 10, 15% of agave, maybe a little bit more, depending. And then put it in the fridge. Delicious limoncello.
Michael
There you
Stewart
go.
chimed in saying, try it with Irish stew.
Well, I can tell you what. though,
Irish
man.
stew. I mean, absolutely. If that's my friend
Yeah,
Michael
we're-
Stewart from Ireland.
Yeah, he's
he's
just
on
chimed
that.
in. I just saw that.
Oh, fantastic.
But Michael Stewart might get the last word because we got to shut it down. I
Yeah.
will say this one thing though, man.
Sure.
I think proper vodka, a la vodka sauce, they light on fire, and the vodka helps curdle the dairy in the dish. So a lot of people don't. I don't know if this will light on fire, but a lot of people don't do a la vodka probably.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just want to say one thing too.
Yeah.
One of the girls on there, Ella Gibbons. Ella, I love you, baby, and I'm coming to see you very soon. And I want to thank everybody for listening to us today because this has been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
For all this. Yeah, I can't wait to do another one.
Ella, I'll find out how he got kicked out of the Super Bowl, and I'll
Oh
answer
no,
that
I already
question.
said. Yeah, well,
I thought he gave a pretty good idea.
yeah, that was.
This is fantastic. I mean, totally.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Have fun,
let's do
guys?
it again.
Oh, we want to do it again, And
All right, cool.
I want to drink
thank
more.
you. You know?
So support your local businesses, though.
Yeah.
I do have to say that these guys, aren't suffering, but a lot of people are. And
Oh no,
now that we're
no,
coming
I'm
out-
suffering.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
bring it.
Suffering,
Now that-
succotash.
Yeah.
But look, over the next year, we're going to ease back into normal life. So start as soon as you can with your local businesses, but pick the ones that are offering the highest quality.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you have any questions about Danny's product, the Waka Waka, or my product, the Natural Blonde Bloody Mary Mix, go to our websites, check it out. My name's on my website. You can call me up. My number's on there. Feel free to call me.
I mean, you can call me Al. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Call me
Go
out.
to info@edgewaterspiritsco.com for any inquiries. We're happy we're here in Orlando tonight too. We're going to go visit a couple of great local spots where Waka is supported
cool.
and where we support Robinson Cocktail Room, the Courtesy Bar, Tori Tori,
Oh, nice.
the DeLand Hotel,
There you go.
Pat's Liquor Store. It all grows, right? An old saying my grandfather would say, it starts from the brook leads to the river leads to the delta, and then to the ocean. Kind of like a metaphor, walk, run, and everything in time. And, we just got to keep maintaining it, keep refreshing. And
And the salmon, they spawn there. They go out to the ocean. They come back and they get eaten by bears. That's great.
But it's a marathon, not a sprint. And
Yeah.
I get that.
totally.
Look, you know what? You take your time, do the right
Anybody
thing.
else want to throw an analogy?
No,
before we
no,
end?
no, no, no.
Yeah.
Thank you. No more
And
analogies.
enjoy responsibly.
Suddenly, I won't have
Yes.
a leg or something.
But-
Enjoy.
Above all
Thank
else.
you.
Thank you,
you,
guys.
And,
guys.
and,
Been
and I
wonderful.
can't believe you said nothing about the show.
Undhammer.
Oh,
What's
that's okay.
Undhammer mean?
That'll be. We're gonna do some
Okay.
It
questions
means-
about that.
What does Undhammer mean?
It's like El Nino.
You
It
know,
means the Nino.
It's
Undhammer.
Swedish name, Swedish roots. My dad's side, mom's
Did
side.
you guys
Pole.
make hammers? Like, I mean,
Well,
is it like
it could be.
We used to call him
They
Thor,
have-
but
Thor.
yeah.
He's related to Thor.
Mom's side Polish, Jewish, German. Just the old school proper East meets West.
Undhammer.
Vodka. Yeah.
I'm Irish
Good
and
luck.
Swedish.
Hey,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. And Aquino.
I'm Italian and
What
actually
does it mean?
British.
What does Aquino mean?
It means not here.
No. Good night.
That's a
Good
winner.
night,
I mean,
people.
Aquino,
did
bam,
you say
bam.
that at the Super